Oh, that camera is super skewed. Okay, let me see if I can fix this. Oh, is that better? Can you see me? Hello? Oh, how's it going? How's your day today? Hopefully it's going well. My day's going great. I had a camp today. Camp's still going. They're downstairs. I'm up here. But yeah, today, camp, waking up at 8 a.m. Got a couple other things that I have planned, so I'm gonna go through this class. It's only gonna be 30 minutes like usual, but I'm quite excited for it. Because today we're gonna be doing something that I love. Now, before we get started on this, I want to make something very, very, very clear here. Today, we're going to be working on something called a neck roll. We're going to be working on some shoulder rolls. We're also going to be working on some other wrist roll stuff. So we're doing a lot of body movement. This bow is going to be going around all over the place. So, if you're not in a space where you will be safe while doing that, not only you be safe, but all the inanimate objects in your house be safe, and all your little siblings be safe, my suggestion is bring it up on a phone, bring it somewhere else. Take it outside. Your neighbors can hear me. They can be annoyed with me just as much as you guys are annoyed with me. So it'll be a good day today. But I do want to make sure that you're being safe. It's a good day if you are safe. So today, my ultimate goal is to get you guys down 3 things. A neck roll, a shoulder roll, a wrist roll, and that's inverse going towards the pinky. And then if you guys can get that down, I'm going to start to show you, I'm a little sloppy today, I'm going to start to show you a shoulder roll into a neck roll. We'll get there. I'll make it look a lot smoother than what I just did. I'm a little bit tired right now. So that's our goal. Let's get started. And to get started, let's warm up with some of the things we've done in the past couple weeks. And as a reminder, we've done this class for we started up 4 weeks ago. Last week I was 30 minutes late on it, but today I'm right on time. I'm right here with you. But yeah, I've been doing this for 4 weeks. Go watch some of the other classes. You don't need to be live to watch a class. So watch the other weapons classes. I go over a thumb roll. I go over a triple spin a little bit. Oh man, I'm really sloppy today. I also go over some basic things like figure eights, inverse figure eights, and not only that, I go over some striking moves. So if you guys don't have that down, I really recommend you go back and watch those. With that being said, let's get started with some of our figure eights. As a reminder, I'm going to draw a circle on this side, this way, then on this way. Another way to think about this is I'm paddling a boat on both sides. Start with 2 hands, start slowly, and then speed it up. Do left hand. Oh man, and right hand. So switch hands, do one hand, then the other. You can get all that down, start to spin in a circle while you do it. By the way, it's good to see Kaylin here, and the Bundys here, and Kirthana here. So I'm going both hands, paddling the boat. One hand. The other hand. Once I got it down, I'm going to start to spin in a circle. Alright. Once you got all that, we're going to move on to an inverse figure eight. Inverse figure eight being here. Now, before I was paddling my boat, I was taking a tennis ball that's down here, and I was bringing it up above my head to throw it. I'm now going to go inverse. I'm going to pick it up this way and toss it behind me. So I'm going 1, or I'm going to toss it more like upwards. I'm pushing my boat backwards. If that doesn't make a lot of sense to you, what I would like you to do is take your boat and paddle the other way. 1. There. Now while you're doing that, I'm actually going to readjust my camera to make it easier so you guys can see me. I realize you're seeing my head right now. Ooh, there we are, and I can bring it a bit up. There we are. Oh, look at that. Now we're a lot better. So I'm going in this way. 1, 2, 3. I just hit my head. And who said that, Kirthana? Okay. So Kirthana, if you hit your head on these inverse figure eights, let me think about how you did it. Probably going this way, right? Hitting your head there. You're doing a figure eight. It's probably the back of your head. My suggestion is always start slow. When you're first learning a weapon, you have to accept that this is a part of you. This is a part of you. And just with any new thing that you're learning, especially when it starts to become part of your own self, you're going to struggle with that at first, right? When you first learned to kick, your balance wasn't really a part of what you were doing, so it felt weird, but now that it's used to it, and you're used to spinning and rotating your body in that way, it gets a lot easier. When this extra part of your arm is extended, it's hard to get used to it. Meaning that you're going to be a little bit clumsy, you're not going to be as balanced, you're going to hit yourself once in a while. So if you're doing it slow, it's not the end of the world. But if you try to do something that you don't have control over really fast, you're going to hit yourself and it's going to hurt. Start 2 hands. Go to 1 hand. Then your other hand. Go slow not to hit yourself. If you got that all down, turn as you do it. That's where it's very careful that you go slow. If you're not used to that motion, it's just going to bang. All right. So now that we got our figure 8s out of the way, we got our inverse figure 8s out of the way, our body's starting to get more used to our bow. We can start to do our body rolls. Now, here's the one thing that I want you to recognize, and I'm going to do something very, very disrespectful, and I'm going to let you know that you should never do this, but I need to teach this lesson first, or you guys are going to struggle. I want you to take a guess. I'm going to drop this bow, and I want you to figure out what's going to happen, okay? So I'm going to drop this bow, and guess what's going to happen. Ready? I'm going to do it in 3, 2, 1. What happened? It hit the ground. I know some of you guys are thinking that was a trick question. It's not a trick question. If you drop this bow and there's nothing there, between this and the ground, it's going to drop, it's going to fall, it's going to hit the ground, and you're going to lose whatever you started. Now, when I drop my bow, what's going to happen? Not a trick question, it's going to hit my hand because my hand was in the way. So whenever I do any body motion rolls, whenever I do anything with bow staff, the important question that you always need to ask yourself, is there something that's stopping this bow staff from hitting the ground? Now, to get used to it, actually, we won't start with neck rolls, we'll start with wrist rolls. The first thing that we need to answer this question with is, what's going to stop it? My wrist. So I'm going to rotate my hand up. And as it's starting to fall, I just need to make sure that this wrist is in the way. Once it is, I can turn and catch. So try this out. You're going to twist it all the way around until your hand is facing away from you. You have this kind of weird chicken wing motion. You're going to let go with your thumb. Rest it on your wrist. Turn your hand and catch. So try it out with an open hand. 1, 2, let go. Turn your wrist. Catch. So you're going 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so try it out. 1, 2. Oh, didn't get enough speed there. 1, 2, 3. Try to pick up the motion. There. I'm a pro with the wrist roll. I'm glad to see, Kaylin. I'm glad to see. So I'm here, and I'm rolling it. If you got this down, do it on your other side. Remember, 1, 2, 3. See if you can keep the motion up. 1. Now, I'm doing it multiple times in a row. You just need to make sure that you grab a little bit lower down on the bow staff. Or you can shift your hand between rolls. That's going to be more difficult. Doing it the other way is a bit easier to shift your hand because you have a little bit of a leap there. My suggestion is if you want to keep it rolling, the second you get to here, loosely grip and let it slide. I'm bad with my right hand on this one. But you'll see that I'm kind of sliding my hand down as I keep this motion going. Really, you don't have much of a practical use for that in terms of like regular wrist roll motions, or even when it comes to like sports karate grading form. You'll never see multiple people doing a wrist roll and keep going into this wrist roll. You may see a wrist roll into an inverse toss, but you won't really see multiple wrist rolls. But it's good for practice. All right, so you got that down. Now we're going to do it the other way. Now the other way is spinning up this way, right? So if we went this way, I'm going to go this way, open it, same thing, go on my wrist and catch. So all I'm doing is going in the other direction. So I'm going 1, 2, I'm going the other direction. This way, catch, reset. Practice that. If you got that down, do it on your other hand. Remember, no both hands here. It's going to help you in the future. If you only learn one hand, Then you're gonna get to black belt, and I'm gonna be like, okay, so now try to do that combo with your left hand. It's gonna look better, and you're gonna be like, wait a second, my left hand exists? So, if you got that down, try rolling back and forth. 1, 2, going to both sides. If you got that down, try to do a slight touch on the ground as you do this. Really drop your hand as you do it. See if you can bounce it. If you got that down, switch hands and bounce. You can do this both directions, so you can go here and then bounce that way. Boo. Or you can do it backhanded. You're going to go here, roll around, catch it with your other wrist, roll it the other way. Let me ask you this question. What's stopping the bow from touching the ground when I roll around this way? First it's this wrist, but then it starts to fall, it needs to be the other wrist. So my other wrist is just going to take its spot in holding the bow staff up. Oh man, I am sloppy today. You're doing your thumb rolls into this, like we worked on a couple weeks ago. It's the same motion. What's stopping? I'm just going to replace my thumb with the palm of my hand. 1, 2, 1, 2. Inverse. 1. All right, so now that we got that down, I'm going to show you guys something. We're doing wrist rolls, neck rolls, and shoulder rolls today. Man, you guys are getting a whole bunch. So now let's go into our elbow rolls. If you're struggling with your wrist rolls, that's fine. I'm going to tell you right now, you're going to probably struggle with your elbow rolls a bit, your neck rolls, your shoulder rolls. I'm going through this fast. I only have 30 minutes. Go back and rewatch this class. If you guys want to get good at bow staff, don't just watch this class once. Go through it a couple of times. You'll get better and better each time. I'm going to stick my elbow out like a chicken wing. See how my elbow's going forward. It's not out here. It's pointed forward. All I'm going to practice doing is I'm going to hit the center of my bow staff right here. That way, it rests center here. So I hit it so it can rest as it goes up. I'm going to let it spin around and catch it. Remember, my elbow is between the bow staff and the ground, so it doesn't fall, the center of the bow staff. This part can fall, but it's this part that's important, right? The center, that's where it spins. Then as it comes around, I'm just going to replace my elbow with my hand. There. 1 hand. 1 hand. 1 hand. Now, if I'm making this look easier than it is, it's because I practiced a whole bunch. If you're struggling with this, you're probably doing a couple of things wrong. 1, you're not practicing, and that's fine. Practice, go home. But if the other thing is that you're doing this wrong, it's probably because you're not hitting the center of the bow staff. You're bringing it slightly down, and it's rolling off your elbow too soon. That, or you're not hitting it soon enough, and it's kind of sliding off that way. You want to hit a little bit before the center of the bow staff, so when it rolls, it goes on top there. So I hit a little bit before to let it roll. If you got this down, see, I need to practice my left hand a bit more. You're going to use your left elbow. I always struggle with my left. See, I need to practice more. Oh, another thing, I forgot to mention this, and I just showed it off when I was doing my left side. The other thing that you may be struggling with is bringing this hand around. Toss it, hand here. You can practice that. So if I'm shoulder rolling here, I'm going to put my bow staff down. I'm going to toss, hand here. Practice that kind of motion. Almost like you're taking a small plate out of your pocket when you're handing it to somebody. I'm here. My palm's in because it makes it just this easier. I toss it. Small plate. Toss. Small plate. Toss. Woo. Small plate. See how I hit it a little bit not close to the center so it rolled off my elbow? 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. I got both sides. Now see if you can go one elbow, then the other elbow. So you're going to go here, and instead of replacing it with your hand, you're going to replace it with your second elbow. The second this hand gets done, I'm just going to bring a small plate over here. So I'm going 1, oh man, 1. I'm struggling with double elbow rolls today. These aren't inherently difficult. You guys may have gotten this first time where I'm struggling a bit. I'm going to be honest with you, the elbow roll is my nemesis. The only thing that I can say I struggle with more than an elbow roll is a shoulder roll. Also, sorry if it's a bit choppy. I forgot to turn off the Wi-Fi on my phone before the stream. It always makes it a little bit choppier. But hopefully it should straighten out soon here. You'll see me extend my arm, because extending my arm makes it easier on me. I also do a lot of other tricks when it comes to elbow rolls, where I start with an elbow and then I spin out into a thumb roll. So I'm more used to that. To a wrist roll. Looking like there. You'd have to go the other way for a thumb roll. Alright, so you got your elbow rolls, got your wrist rolls. Now let's get into some more body type of rolling. Let's start with a neck roll. A neck roll. Now a neck roll is not going to be hard. It's only going to be hard if you go too fast. I've seen brown belts that are super cocky with the bow staff. Like, Master Nick, I've learned all of this. I don't need to learn from you. See, look at my neck roll. Oh, and then they don't do this fast, and then I'm like, okay, let's do a shoulder roll and do the neck roll. And they can't understand it because they didn't take this part slowly. If you know this well, take it slowly still. I take this slowly at first when I start to work on some of my body rolling tricky, because if I don't have this basic fundamental down, I'm not going to be able to do the rest of it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my feet, double leg apart, bend my knees. At this point, I need to bring my neck forward. Remember, I want to put the center of the bow staff on my neck so it doesn't touch the ground. If I do that, no matter how slowly I go, I should never fall. Now you saw what I did there. I used my other hand to grab. So I'm going to take my, I'll do this in first. I'm going to take my right hand, touch the back of my neck, get the center there. I'm going to take my right hand. I'm going to put it in front. If I tuck it behind, I'm not going to be grabbing it and I'm choking myself. Put it in front. You should never choke yourself here. Now once I'm there, if you can grab your bow staff and bring it through and then do it again. The other thing that you can do is if you feel like you can't reach, it's just too tall. Twist the shoulder down and just have your hand here. So don't grab it, but twist your shoulder down and let it roll into your hand. That's a huge part of body tricking, is being patient and letting the bow come to you instead of, throwing it and you're like, I got it, and then dropping the bow. So I bend my body down, I roll, I put my hand in front, I catch. Do that a couple of times. If you have that down, start here, start standing, go here, and the second you go here, drop your body. So I'm starting here, and I drop my body into it. If you got that down, you can stop bending your knees and just use your upper body a bit. I would always bend my knees a little bit when I do neck rolls. It just doesn't feel right if I don't. Now, as you start doing this and you're bending less and less, eventually you'll just bend a little bit and it will work. My suggestion, one, always make sure you're going across and you're not doing same side. You do same side, yes, I just did it there. It's going to be a lot harder. Not only that, I see a lot of people going like this. That's not a thing. This is not a thing. If you do it same side, you have to catch it with the same hand, and if you can't do it opposite side, then you're not going to be able to do the same side. So, opposite side, go across your body into it. So, eventually when you get good at it, you barely roll. Now, I do my neck rolls fast, right? And a lot of people are like, oh, you're not bending Master Nick. I am. It's very slight. Let me do it slow motion. I bend my head just a little bit so I can roll into it. Every time I do a neck roll, I do bend my neck. If I don't, it would look like this. And it doesn't work anymore. All right. So we got our neck roll down. And if you don't worry. Come back and rewatch this section. Rewind it right now. That's fine. Let's move into our shoulder roll. Our shoulder roll being there. Now, our shoulder roll isn't too difficult. But why a lot of people struggle with it is because they're not used to grabbing the bow staff in a different spot. The other thing that you recognize is I'm leaning forward a little bit, but when you do it, when I show this to you, you're going to be leaning forward a ton. So first, grab your bow staff like this. This is the center, this is the end. I'm grabbing it about halfway through that point. I'm going to bend my body down, lift my elbow up, and catch it under. I'm here. Once I'm here, I'm going to push backwards. Almost like I'm sliding a flag down below to push the center of my bow staff up. Oh, I just did a shoulder roll into neck roll. We'll get there. But when you do that, all you're going to do, the second you push, bring your hand around and catch. So I tuck it under my armpit. first you may have trouble. You'll be here and you're like, it's not working. You do have to push relatively hard. If you find your bow staff is going way high up and it's not turning, it's because you're grabbing too low on the bow. If you find yourself pushing hard and it's sliding off, you're grabbing too high. You need to find the spot that works for you. Once you find that spot, when you push it, it'll naturally spin around. Remember, the center of your bow staff should be resting on your shoulder. I'm here, the center of the bow staff rests and go. So if I just push and I don't bring my hand up, see how it naturally just pushes a little bit past and rolls. That motion is your shoulder roll. Once you got this down, start standing, then duck and go into it. Don't pause, don't go like this, and then try to do it because you're going to go slow. That's what we do when we're learning. Rotate and push under at the same time. Once you got that, bend a little bit less, a little bit less, a little bit less, until you're barely bending at all. If you have this down, unlike the neck roll, I mean you could do it on the other side of the neck roll too. Try it on your other side. Whoop, whoop. Now you see me do this fancy figure 8 into it. That's how I get a little bit more speed. You can go here and roll and catch. Tuck under, roll. This fancy figure 8 thing just helps this motion go down and over, so I don't have to bend as much. Oh, we'll get to the shoulder neck roll in a second and still do the move. All right, so we went through our shoulder roll. Whoop. We went through a neck roll. Whoop. We did our wrist rolls. We did our elbow rolls. I mean, we didn't do multiple. We did do multiple wrist rolls, didn't we? We practiced stuff like this. So, just like that multiple wrist rolls, we are now going to combine two moves, the shoulder roll and the neck roll. So remember when I was teaching you this double wrist roll and the double elbow roll, what did I say to do with your other hand? I said to make sure that you replace it. You replace it from falling, so as it comes back over, my wrist needs to replace that other hand to catch. If I don't do that, it's going to touch the ground. So when I do my shoulder roll, it's the same thing, but I need to replace it with my neck. Wrap your mind around that. It's going to take a second. I know I got a lot of confused looks there. How do I replace my shoulder with my neck? Well, if I'm just trying to stand still, right? If my shoulder's locked in this place in time, how do I get my neck over there? Well, I move it. Well, I move it by dropping this shoulder or by lowering this shoulder or hiring this shoulder to put my neck there, or by dropping this shoulder. So see how my shoulder's locked here, and then as I rotate, it now goes here. So I need to start my shoulder roll, have the bow staff waiting here, and then I need to put my neck there so it continues. So when I'm here, it gets pushed under, I move my neck in its spot, and it rolls. I push, move it under, and rolls. Now you saw me do a little cheat that I want you to try this out first. Here's a good way to cheat this and practice this. You're going to do your shoulder roll, but you're going to catch it here with your other hand. Don't bring it down, catch it here. Then rotate through your neck and do your neck roll. So when you do this, you're just kind of cheat by holding it and then by moving your neck. When you do that, it gives you a lot of time. When you do that without cheating, you don't have a lot of time to do this. You just kind of have to know the timing and pull it off, right? But when you have this, you don't need to know the timing at all. You just need to rotate your neck into it. So you're going to do a shoulder roll catch. Rotate your neck. And see how I'm kind of dropping my neck down? I'm twisting the shoulder down. Oh! I'm here. Twist the shoulder down. Now I'm hitting my head here. You guys may be hitting your head as well. But the reason why is I'm trying to cheat. And there is a way that we can cheat this again to make this easier on ourselves, but you need to make it clear in your mind. Do I want to do the cheat way, or not necessarily the cheat way, but the easy way or the hard way? The hard way is where I go straight into a shoulder roll and then I come across. Now the hard way looks cool, especially when you do other moves into it, right? I'm here, into it. I'll tell you the cheat way is easier to do and easier to pull off, faster. There's not a lot. Timing is less important, but the setup's easier. So I know a lot of people, because I've taught this before, kind of bring it to the opposite shoulder immediately. That is not a shoulder roll into a neck roll. You're doing like a back roll or something. But there's a way to make this easy. Instead of throwing this bow straight down, straight up and down, and then going into a neck roll, I'm going to throw it more at my head. The second it's going to hit my head, I'm just going to drop this shoulder and swing it around. So instead of throwing it here, I'm throwing it more there. More there. That way, all I have to do is touch the shoulder a little bit, and it goes to the other side. Now, if you see me constantly doing neck, oh man, I'm super sloppy today. If you see me constantly throwing neck rolls over and over and over again, shoulder to neck rolls, that's what I'm doing. Look where my bow's going. Is it going straight up and down? No, it's going more sideways. It's coming in more here. I'm already starting my motion this way, and then I'm bringing it around. This is what I like to call the easy way into it. Oftentimes, instead of throwing it down, I spin it around this way. So instead of doing the figure 8 into it, I do more of a side swipe into it. So, easy way, you've been working on it, and then you got your hard way. Messed up the hard way. Pushing down around. That's not the hard way to ton today. So if I'm doing this sideways, because I think that's here. Ooh, man. Shoulder roll into neck roll. Man. Drop my neck into it. Sometimes I need to teach myself, right? Now, if you guys can do that, you can try it on your other hand. I will tell you, I constantly do this with my left hand. My right hand can do it. You'll just see it's a bit sloppier. That's because I broke my arm one summer. I just had a bow staff, and I was teaching. He's off to college now, Ethan Beller. Hopefully Andrew Wingate's watching, or somebody so he can tell you the story. But I broke my hand, and I was like trying to teach him bow staff moves, and I was like, okay, well, I didn't know how to do it, so I broke my right hand. So I just constantly did my left hand bow staff movements, and I was trying to teach it to him and get him through this move. Then you get so good at it, and you forget to practice your other hand, which kind of happens. So that's why you practice both left and right. You get this all down today. Here's your mission. And feel free to type it in next week for when you do this. Type it in next week. How many you can combine. You have to combine several different body types. You can't repeat a body type more than once into one body motion tricky. So you can do shoulder roll into a neck roll, into a wrist roll, into an elbow roll, into a wrist roll, into a neck roll. That would be like 6. See how many you can do. I showed you one easy one today. Wrist roll, into shoulder roll, into neck roll. 1, 2, 3. That's 3, right? Ooh, maybe you go elbow roll. Ooh, let me see if I can do this. Elbow, oh, I can do it. A little sloppy today. I guess I would have to do, I could do a thumb roll into a wrist roll, into a neck roll. Oh, there's a lot of different things you can do, but I want you guys to mess around with it, figure it out. One of my favorites, I didn't really go over this. You can do a shoulder roll with the back, there and around. Come get, ooh, I didn't catch it, but that's another thing. That's a whole other day. But you can go elbow roll into a shoulder roll. It's in one of my forms, but I don't think I can pull it off today. We'll see. 1, 2, 3. That one's a bit harder. I've been working on that one. I can't make it smooth quite yet. All right, well, otherwise than that, thank you guys for being with me here today. I'm going to go home and take a nap before I teach classes tonight. I'm teaching Get Pam Up. Just a heads up, Master Love sent out an email. It's in the portal. We send out our weekly updates, which we're sending out weekly updates again. We moved our online classes, our YouTube classes, to Wednesday this week. To Wednesday instead of doing it Monday. We originally planned to have it for Monday for the rest of June. The problem was we have an outside program that we were thinking wasn't going to start up, and then we were told it was going to start up, and then we're like, okay, we'll get another instructor. Then the other instructor didn't feel comfortable doing the online classes, so we decided that, hey, we'll just do it Wednesday. So a whole bunch of things there. But we'll do Wednesday YouTube classes from here on out. And then Thursday, we'll still do our Zooms, and Fridays we'll do our Zooms. I created the links last week. I didn't send them out, so I'll send you the links for the Zoom classes. Probably not tonight, because I have a couple emails I need to get done besides that. But tomorrow morning, so you'll have your Thursday and Friday Zoom. Can't wait to see you guys there. Otherwise than that, face me, cheerio, kunye. I hope you have a great rest of your day. I will see you next time. Bye.